CTV News at 5 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin in Kirkland Lake, where human remains were discovered last night. Provincial police say the remains were found around 10 p.m. in an unoccupied building on Government Road. Police believe this is an isolated incident and say there are no signs of a broader threat. Residents can expect to see an increased police presence in the area. Sudbury police have arrested a 41-year-old in the dog abuse case we told you about yesterday. Police say the suspect was picked up in the downtown area and has been charged with cruelty to animals, along with mischief and theft under $5,000. The investigation remains ongoing as police work with provincial animal welfare inspectors through their process. Police in Sault Ste. Marie are looking for a suspect after an assault put one person in hospital last night. Police say the assault happened on St. George Avenue West, where one victim was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The suspect fled the scene and police conducted a search with no success. The investigation is ongoing. The Timmins Police Service is looking for help identifying the person believed to be responsible for damaging a hydro line beneath the Riverside Bridge near the Matagami boat launch. Police say the incident occurred early Tuesday morning and that the line was cut using tools. Due to the significant danger posed by high voltage infrastructure, the OPP Marine Unit assisted by conducting a search of the surrounding waterways. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Time now for our first check on weather, and the rain clouds have certainly started moving in ahead of a soggy weekend. For more of those details, we go to CTV's Amanda Hicks filling in for Tony Rima.
Thanks for that, Marina. And soggy is absolutely right. Your first look at weather is brought to you by CAA. You can become a member at getcaa.ca. So this weekend, maybe not the best one for outdoor plans. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement, which you can see behind me here, expecting 50 to 80 millimeters of rain starting tonight into Monday. So we're going to see some rain. That's courtesy of a low pressure system that's going to be moving through the region, bringing cooler conditions as well. I'll have those details a bit later on, but for now, Marina, back to you.
All right, thank you for the update, Amanda. North Bay Mayor Peter Chirico has announced he will not seek re-election. Chirico says after careful consideration, he believes the time is right to conclude his service in elected office and allow new leadership to step forward. He says he is grateful for the opportunity to serve his community and for the trust that residents and supporters have placed in him, adding he's proud of what has been accomplished in his term and his 4 terms on council. Greater Sudbury has a lame duck. While that sounds like a problem for the MNR, it's actually a municipal governance issue that happens when not enough council members run for re-election. CTV's Madison Merrier explains.
Lame duck is what many call it, but officially when council has less than 75% of its members running again, it enacts a restricted act period.
They cannot, hire or fire any employees. And then there's also 2 provisions about spending and selling. So you can't sell property worth more than $50,000 or engage in an expenditure of more than $50,000. So in those instances, council is restricted. It cannot vote on those matters. Except there is an exception in the case of an emergency.
Those are the powers that are delegated to the chief administrative officer. And it's similar. There are some restrictions that apply as well to the strong mayor powers. They aren't completely restricted, though. So a strong mayor is still able to make a number of decisions using their strong mayor powers.
In Sudbury, council is made up of 13 members. To avoid a lame duck, Sudbury would need 10 candidates seeking re-election. Only 8 councillors and the mayor have registered to run for the October election.
The city of Greater Sudbury will be restricted from nomination day, which is today, until the period when the new term of council commences, which would be November 15th.
For municipalities, councils can meet, but the concern here is that councillors that aren't running again will make important decisions that may influence, affect, positively or negatively for that matter, how the next council functions.
A restricted act period can also occur after elections if less than 75% of the current council is not re-elected. With less than that running in Sudbury, a lame duck period for about a month after the election is inevitable. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Today in Sudbury, the Samaritan Center held an event in partnership with several local churches to give people living with addictions and experiencing homelessness hope. As CTV's Alana Everson explains, the event was promoting Teen Challenge Canada, a national recovery program.
And I praise God that my little girl...
54-year-old Tracy Whalen says her addiction started at the age of 8 to alcohol. After being sexually abused at 10, her addiction eventually spiraled into hard drugs. She shared her story at an event in Memorial Park.
By the time I turned 38, I was an IV drug user, couldn't function without a needle in my arm. Many wrote me off and considered me something to be hopeless without ever being able to change, and God proved them wrong.
Living in Newfoundland at the time, she signed up for Teen Challenge in 2010, a faith-based recovery program, and flew to Ontario to complete it. She graduated in 2011 and now lives in Sudbury to be close to family.
Do not think you're a lost cause. Society might think you're a lost cause, your family might think you're a lost cause, you might think you're a lost cause, but nobody is hopeless.
A lunch featuring music and guest speakers was hosted by the Samaritan Center to offer information about Teen Challenge.
There's a lot of different ways to treat the addictions crisis that's happening in our country and specifically in our city. We offer one solution, and that is a faith-based programming.
Because it's getting worse and worse, we're seeing more and more overdoses. We have had some clients that have overdosed and died, and it's just time to speak up. And, you know, everybody's looking for a solution, but we believe the solution is already here. We just have to promote it.
During the event, there was one overdose in the park. Organizers administered naloxone. Paramedics responded, and the individual survived. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Time now for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Amanda has your full weather forecast. For now, let's check in on conditions in Elliott Lake at the Fire Tower Lookout. Things are looking a little gloomy. Can't see the sky here, but if they do tilt up before break, you'll see it's gray out there, and that is leading up to a very wet weekend. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, and happy Friday. We made it to the weekend, although this weekend is going to be a bit of a soggy one, as we were talking about before the break. Let's take a look with the forecast radar and widespread unsettled conditions across the board here heading into Saturday. Of course, there is still that special weather statement in effect by Environment Canada, of course, and that's for tonight into Monday, where you could see between 50 to 80 millimeters of rain depending on where you are. So definitely a weekend where you might want to stay inside, you might want to cuddle up with a movie and enjoy while your gardens get a bit of some extra showers there. But that's how things are going to be looking by the time Sunday wraps up. Quite a bit of precipitation for sure. Your 5-day forecast starting with Sudbury Nickel Belt. So we've got rain 10 to 20 millimeters for tomorrow, high of 20 with risk of thunderstorm showers continuing into Sunday, high of 17. Temperatures dropping a little bit there. Single digit temperatures for the low for Sunday. Chance of showers on Monday getting up to 16, and then sunshine returns on Tuesday with a high of 24. For Sault Ste. Marie Algoma, chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow, high of 22, 19 on Sunday with a chance of showers. Back-to-back sunshine on Monday into Tuesday. Tuesday looks quite nice, high of 25, closer to the normal for this time of year, which is 22 degrees. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, 15 to 25 millimeters of rain for tomorrow. Risk of thunderstorms, high of 19, 15 on Sunday. Showers continuing into Monday, getting up to 14 degrees, and then sunny skies on Tuesday with a high of 22. For Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow, high of 19, 17. On Sunday, showers continuing into Monday. Strong chance of showers on Monday. Mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday with a high of 22. And finally, for North Bay, West Nipissing, showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow. 10 to 15 millimeters of rain continuing into Sunday and Monday, but sunshine returns on Tuesday. Temperatures pick up to 22. So Marina, we're going to see some rainy weather over the weekend, but like I said, the plants will enjoy it. Sending it back to you.
And Amanda, hopefully that rain will be helpful, as the Ministry of Natural Resources says the Rinker Lake Complex fires burning north of Thunder Bay are still out of control. But activity has remained low and some firefighting equipment is being demobilized. Across the northwest region, there was one new wildfire confirmed as of yesterday evening for a total of 69 burning, 7 out of control. In the northeast, there were no new fires spotted yesterday. 41 are burning, none of them considered out of control. Ontario will ban some controversial procedures on pets, and it's being called a big win for animal welfare. But there's one practice that advocates say should have made the list. CTV's Karis Matt spoke directly with Ontario's Solicitor General about the changes.
As of January 1st, it will be illegal to declaw cats, devocalize dogs, or crop their ears.
There really isn't any medical benefit to the animal for any of these procedures.
New regulations will come into effect in 2027, making Ontario the last province to implement such a ban on these surgeries.
We want people to have pets as their loved ones, as their extended members of their family, but there is a responsibility to care for them.
Pet owners may think the procedures are harmless, but they carry big consequences.
Cats use their claws for climbing, for balance, for self-defense. When they don't have their claws available to them, it can cause some behavioral issues.
While strides are being made to protect animals from the procedures, advocates say more needs to be done.
Obviously, dogs use their barking as a major form of communication to other dogs, to their human companions, etc.
And there are questions about why not all procedures were included.
If you consider both ear cropping and tail docking as cosmetic procedures, why was one included and not the other?
Tail docking, a surgical procedure that removes a portion of an animal's tail, will still be allowed in Ontario. The practice is used to meet cosmetic standards of certain dog breeds.
They are purely for human or breed aesthetics rather than any benefit or welfare for that animal.
Ontario Solicitor General explains the rationale.
We have to also listen to rural Ontario. We have to listen to people that hunt. We have to listen to our stakeholders in the Four Corners.
And while advocates worry that tail docking will still be allowed, they are encouraged by this step forward.
We're hoping that, again, this legislation is a first step, and it's something that the province will consider and implement, in the future.
Karis Matt, CTV News.
And coming up here on CTV News at 5, a French theater group in Sudbury celebrates a new season. Plus, we take a tour on the grand opening of the new community center and Twin Ice Pad Arena in North Bay. A Sault Ste. Marie woman is calling for more education on electric scooters after being struck by one on a popular walking trail in the city. CTV's Corey Nordstrom reports.
Wednesday afternoon, Abby Obenchain and husband Bill Cole were on a normal, relaxing walk when things took an unexpected turn.
We're having a lovely walk. My husband and I walk for our mental health. We try to walk very mindfully, so we're focusing on positive things. We're feeling all cheerful, and boom, I get hit by a scooter.
The couple say they had heard scooters approaching and moved out of the middle of the path, which they thought the adult operators would utilize.
We knew they were coming up behind us, and you expect somebody operating a scooter or a bike is going to go around a pedestrian. And this operator just clearly wasn't in control of the scooter. She didn't brake, she didn't steer around us, she got up behind us, and there was no room for her to veer because her partner was on another scooter right next to her.
The pair note that they see e-scooters frequently throughout the city, with more on the trails of late. Obenchain says she was initially shocked, but ultimately had no injuries as a result of the incident, something she worries could be worse if accidents like this become more common.
There are a lot of older people that walk along here, but I'm especially worried about the kids because these scooters can get up to quite a high rate of speed, much greater rate of speed than children are equipped to handle and maneuver.
As for the legality of operating the scooters on a public trail, it can vary by municipality, but in the Sioux, it's black and white.
And it does get a little bit confusing potentially for people because different communities have different sets of bylaws in place. But for the city of Sault Ste. Marie, these are not permitted, again, anywhere. Sidewalks, roads, trails, only on private property.
Sioux police officials add that at this point, officers are focusing on education when they encounter these e-scooters in public. However, consequences do include provincial offense notices resulting in fines or the seizure of the devices. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
After years of discussions, planning, setbacks, and resurrection, North Bay's new Community Recreation Center and Twin Pad Arena opened today. CTV's Eric Tashner takes us on a tour.
The puck drops on a new era of hockey in the West Ferris neighborhood.
Pretty cool. I thought it was going to take a lot longer, so I'm pretty excited to go on the ice with my team here.
After WFCU Place's construction began a year and 8 months ago.
Well, I guess we finally made it. 1, 2, 3.
The doors are open and the ice is already in use.
Well, it's closer for a lot of people, so it's better and there's more space here.
This new community center and arena has 2 standard-sized hockey rinks. More ice pads means less competition for ice time.
Good for hockey tournaments, for all for Ringette and girls, and for us, it's going to be great. Bring lots of people into the city.
Also featured in the new space, a walking track, a community room or meeting space, 14 barrier-free change rooms, over 400 parking spots, and a city bus stop. Over half of the $63 million cost is covered by the federal government.
WFCU Place becomes yours. Embrace it. Fill it with hockey games and walking clubs, tournaments and community events.
Over the past 15 years, the project went through potential locations, designs, and price tags. At one point, the cost ballooned to over $80 million. When that figure came back, Council decided to re-examine the facility's scale and scope.
It's been ups and downs, triumphs and disasters, and, well, it's been a long time coming.
At the start of this council term, we made this a priority. This is a game changer for the city of North Bay, for our community and all the residents.
It was built to eventually replace the aging West Ferris Arena, which council voted last week to shut down its ice-making system, allowing the vacant facility to be safely secured so the next council can decide the property's future.
That project is well past the end of its life. So we'll see what people decide. It'd be awfully expensive to do something down there.
But starting today, the future of hockey and skating in North Bay has a new home for years to come. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
A cultural staple in Sudbury is ready to raise the curtain on a new season. Théâtre de Nouvelle Ontario has officially unveiled its upcoming lineup. Dozens gathered at Place des Arts last night to celebrate the launch of TNO's 55th season. The upcoming slate includes main stage, community, and youth productions. Thanks to funding from the Ontario Trillium Foundation, TNO is also launching Youth in Action, an initiative designed to expand French language arts workshops for local youth. Organizers say this year's theme is Reveal the Invisible, challenging audiences to see the world from new perspectives.
In one way or the other, all of these pieces, the pieces that we chose, kind of bring us to look at life or a certain theme, just on another angle, see it from somewhere else, open that little curtain and try to see what's behind what you would see at the first glance.
The play is about a family that has a funeral home, and the father just passed, and now the mother have to go on, and she has her son to help her. But he just finished his MBA, and he's coming with all new ideas, and he wants to change everything. And it's about the community, and it's about how you help each other.
The first production of the season is set to take place at the stage at Place des Arts October 23rd. When we return, a golf gala brings in big money for the hospital in North Bay. You're watching First at 5. Our first community close-up takes us to the community of Swastika near Kirkland Lake, where Raymond Bourgeois says these bright yellow flowers are like a ray of sunshine in her backyard. They sure are beautiful, and I'm sure the pollinators are just loving them. They will also help brighten things up with all the rain to come over the next week or so. Thank you as always for sharing, Raymond. And speaking of flowers and pollinators, Sherry Duffield says she was visiting her mother in North Bay and captured this photo of a monarch butterfly. We've been receiving quite a few photos of monarchs lately, and it's good to see there are so many right now across the north. To Tomstown now in the Temiskaming district, where Kitty Lalonde says she stumbled upon this toad camouflaged under a log, probably looking for a cool place to rest on a hot day. She says it gave her quite the scare, and I can see why if you look quickly, could almost pass for a snake. And we want to see what you are taking in across the north over the weekend. So if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. Well, the counting is done and the check has been written after this week's Osprey Links Charity Golf Gala in Callander, just south of North Bay. The tournament turned over a check for more than $96,000 to the North Bay Regional Health Centre Foundation. This year's funds will go toward the purchase of an additional ultrasound machine and upgrades to X-ray and fluoroscopy. This was the 28th annual Golf Gala, and since its inception, the tournament has raised almost $900,000 for the hospital. Well done to all involved. And there is more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.